morning, and we're so happy to have you all once again. It's another exciting morning on urban gardening, on backyard farming, on agriculture, on even simple planting on a pot. Sabi sa akin ng mga nakaraang episode, paano wala naman kaming farm? Wala naman kaming lugar dahil nakatira kami sa apartment. Dahil kami kulob sa isang area na dikit-dikit ang bahay. Hindi bale po. Sa ating mga eksperto at advocates, at hindi eksperto o advocate, pero gusto mga matuto ngayon umaga, marami po tayong mga panauhin na sasama sa ating ayoko sabihin programa, Zoom meeting, naka-Facebook Live, sa tinatawag nating new norm. But actually, this new norm is actually the better normal. Ano ba ito? Promise, I will not talk too much kasi marami magsasalitang eksperto dyan. Sa bagong norm, sa panahon ngayon ng krisis, ng pandemic, maski po tapos na, sabihin natin, itong COVID-19, dapat magbago na ang ating pamamaraan, the way we think, the way we talk, the way we live, the way we feel things. Yung ating kinagawian na hindi nagtatanim, na palaging bumibili ng ano-ano man na kaya naman gawin, yung ating paggagamit ng plastic, yung ating pagtapon ng basura kung saan-saan, yung hindi paghihiwalay ng basura sa nabubulok at hindi nabubulok. Sonia Mendoza is with us again. And Sonia Mendoza is Mother Earth Foundation. Climate Change Commission, thank you for this collaboration with my office in the House of Representatives. Thank you to all my staff in the office of Deputy Speaker Lauren Legarda. Thank you to the Institute of Climate and Sustainable Cities, Red Constantino. Thank you to our climate leaders all over the Philippines and all over the world, Climate Reality Philippines, our partner, and the DENR as well, and the Department of Agriculture, and many of our friends are joining us here. Do I have to, okay, one by one. Joining us here, we have, do we have Dr. Crespo? I see you there, all the way in University of Antique. For those who don't know him yet, okay, maybe you'll be a Zoom star starting today, Dr. Crespo. Siya po ang presidente ng University of Antique, which is based in Sibalom in Antique, and there are 5 campuses na tinakal namin kahapon sa aming hearing to provide new packages for flexible learning, and I found out that only 2 out of the 5 campuses have free Wi-Fi. Dapat po 5 na. But that's another subject altogether. I hope you are planting in the 5 campuses, and we have a collaboration with the Department of Trade and Industry on bamboo planting, also with Edmanda. And that will be another subject in the future on what are the others we need to plant. Also joining us today is one of our consultants in the Climate Change Commission, is Attorney Paula Aberasturi, also here with us. Paula and Nicolo are those who are always planting, always working on the ground. They're down to earth. Ayan. Paula's there. She's so passionate. She's the girl and the grail. Yun ba your handle in Instagram?
Yes.
Yes. And you'll have a chance to all speak later. Ang dapat inuna ko, dahil pinakamalapit sa akin at yan ang aking alma mater, pero hindi naman to in the hierarchy of sino ang closest at sino ang pinaka-advocate, okay? Alam ba nyo na ang UP President ay hindi lang batikan na abogado, kung hindi ay talagang magaling na nagtatanim ng gulay na kinakain nila ni Professor o ni Attorney Gabby Concepcion. Sabi sa akin ni President Danny Con, siya daw ang sa gulay, at si Attorney Gabby ay sa bulaklak. Oh, hi, UP President Danny Concepcion and Professor Attorney Gabby. I hope you can show us your gumamela, Attorney Gabby. Show us, President Danny, how dark you are. Ako rin, nung Holy Week, maitim ako. Kaya lang ngayon, sa loob na ng bahay, pumuti na naman. Are you there with us? UP Professor Yes, President Danny and Attorney Gabby, they live in the UP President's house and they've converted the big grounds into a gulayan. Dapat po gulayan sa bawat SUC, Dr. Crespo, gayahin niyo ang UP. And kasama na natin ang isang taga-UP, UP Professor Primo David. He's para tayong Senate hearing. Are you still with DOST? Okay, Dr. CP David is with us. There I see Danny. No, you're not that dark. Sandali, Danny. Oh, President Danny. Okay.
He used to be much fairer than me, so.
Yes. Okay.
Dark.
Okay. Alam mo, next time, Gabby and Danny, para casual tayo, wag ng President Danny and Prof. Gabby. Kung pwede tayo, kung malakas lang internet, wag tayo sa mga kwarto na magagandang mga painting sa likod. Dapat tayo sa ating garden, sa ating farm, di ba? Okay, mag-schedule tayo ng Zoom meeting or Facebook Live, tabi ang halaman para hawak natin yung pechay. Oh, President Danny ha, pakita mo yung gulay mo. Pag wala kang props na gulay, hindi ka ilalabas. Magpakuha ka na ng gulay mo. O, pechay, kalabasa, kangkong, alugbati. O, tapos si Prof. Gabby, pakita naman ang gumamela mo. Maganda raw ang mga tanim mong gumamela. Ayan. So we also have with us Dr. Carlos David. Are you here also with us? Very good. He's the chair of the National Panel of Experts of the Climate Change Commission. Okay, are you there? Nagtatanim. Aside from being an expert, and I know that you were in DOST, we even had programs with Dr. Carlos Primo David when I was in the Senate during Senate hearings on how we can use yung mga gulay para sa mga ginagawang mga noodles ng DOST na binibigay sa ating mga DepEd schools. I hope you're still doing that, Dr. David. Yung ating mga tinatanim ng malunggay ay ginagawang malunggay noodles. Okay. Kasama natin mamaya mga bagets, hindi lang mga kabatch namin ni President Danny. Diba? At saka ni Dr. Crespo. We have millennials with us. With Carlo Sumanang is Sumao. Okay. The founder of Manila Grow Kits. Wow. At saka yung Ragsak family. Kasi ang importante, yung mga family farm, makita natin kung paano nagtatanim sa mga backyard sa ating maliliit na mga farms. Pero hindi naman maliit yung kanyang 3 hectares. Malaki nga yun. We have a chef. Kasi importante, itong mga gulay na ito, alam natin paano iluto. Pero maganda nga, hilaw na lang eh. Kasabihin ng ating Chef Jam Melchor. Slow food. Tayo ba lahat ang gusto natin slow food? Ako slow food. Matagal na akong slow food advocate. In fact, if I will recall, through the Department of Tourism before, through Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat, and Paula knows this, I funded a slow food exhibition here in the Philippines through the DOT, through funding in the DOT. So we have the Youth Network of Slow Food. Ayan, sana ang millennials gaya ni Jam at ni Carlo will also encourage everybody to plant. And I went to Kai Farms long ago when they were just starting. Nag-yoga pa kami with Carla Delgado. She has really evolved to be a very credible and passionate advocate, an earth leader, as we call it. And she will tell us more about permaculture, about organic farming, about agroecology, and about permaculture. Do we have Carla already with us? And we have Bea Misa Crisostomo, an eco-entrepreneur and owner of Ritual. You know, I follow Ritual just like Kai Farms on Instagram. I've always wanted to know more about Ritual kasi gusto ko yung kanilang ginagawa. Na una, ecological. Pangalawa, bulk. Di ba sa UK, di ba sa Europa, sa Germany, hindi naman dapat maliliit ang mga gawa. May kanya-kanyang dala. Tapos bulk ang mga bili. So they're joining us. And as I mentioned, Sonia Mendoza of Mother Earth, Attorney Paula of Down to Earth, and the ATI, you're so important. Agriculture Training Institute, we have Director Rosana Mula. Have I mentioned everyone here today? If I missed on someone, I'm sorry because I would rather not wear my glasses. Okay, so let's start first with the University of the Philippines. Okay, University of Antique, maghintay muna ha. Let's see what UP is doing. I grew up in UP. I used to take the ECOT. I used to go from AS to UP Masscom. I've seen the place where Prof. Gabby and President Danny live. Ito po ang bahay ng presidente ng ating state university. Maganda kayo ang nag-take ng lead, and can we mandate all SUCs, even private colleges and universities, to plant in all the open spaces? Dahil ang lalaki, we have 112, as you know, we have 112 SUCs, and we have 480 satellite campuses. So all of this, every square meter of space that is not planted to gulay, to anything can be eaten, to herbs which are medicinal or flavorful, to plants and flowers, is wasted space. And so, I will stop talking. I promise. Sanay na sa akin si Danny at si Gabby. Gabby, gusto ko yung Daniela mo. O sige, tell us more. As long ago, there was a man called Joe Quirino on television during our parents' time. He would say, take it away. And so, President Danny Concepcion, alala mo yun, Gabby? Bata ka masyado, yung JQ.
Wait, okay. Of course naman, pag weekend, syempre, iisa lang ang TV sa mga bahay noon.
Sige.
Hindi kanya-kanyang internet or device.
From now up to the end of our Zoom session, which is streamed on Facebook Live, I will stop talking. And I will listen to President Danny Concepcion, also known as the urban farmer, and we will listen to Professor Attorney Gabby Concepcion, who used to be on television like myself, but is a professor, the wife of the UP president, and an accomplished person by herself, even not beside Danny. And she's also a flower grower. Tinan mo yung nasa likod ko, ako nagtanim yan. Is that bird of paradise? That's ginger, no?
Ginger siya, oo.
Okay.
Tapos well, I'm trying to experiment now.
Huh?
I'm trying to experiment now in how to grow ginger for cooking.
Okay, you take it away. President
Danny, about ginger, I've been trying to
Very good. Tell us more about how you've converted the UP Gardens into your gulayan, and Attorney Gabby as well.
Well, dito sa Executive House, maraming bakanting lupa. Pero na-discover namin na napakanipis pala ng topsoil dito sa looban ng Executive House compound. So, kinakailangan namin gumawa ng mga planting beds para doon kami magtanim. So far, nakapagtanim na kami ng mga okra, pechay, kamatis, talong, patola, upo, ampalaya. Meron na rin kami maraming alugbati, saluyot, kulitis, sitaw. Pero ito yung personal na ginagawa namin dito sa loob ng Executive House. Pero ang UP ay meron tayong i-launch na isang programa upang turuan natin ang ating mga kababayan na walang bakuran para magtanim ng halaman. Karamihan po sa mga nakatira na mga kababayan natin sa mga lungsod o sa syudad ay wala po silang space na kagaya ng espasyo dito sa UP Diliman o sa UP Los Baños. Siyempre, sasabihin nila, nagagawa namin ito dito sa campus ng UP sa Diliman, nagagawa namin ito sa campus ng UP sa Los Baños o sa Miagao, sa Iloilo o sa Mindanao, sa Davao. Kasi malaki po yung aming space na pwede naming pagtamnan. Pero ang kinakailangan po nating turuan ay yung mga city dwellers. Paano sila magtatanim, paano sila mag-garden kung sila naman ay walang malaking space. Kaya sisimulan po natin, ilo-launch natin, Senator Loren, yung programa natin sa IAT, sa UP, sa TV UP. Magpuproduce kami ng mga video tutorials kung paano magtanim ng gulay sa paso, saan ilalagay ang paso, sa pasimano, sa kusina, okay, sa harapan. At higit sa lahat, magtuturo kami ng hydroponics kung paano magtatanim ng gulay ng walang lupa. At ito ay sa loob ng bahay gagawin.
Ayan ang maganda. Kasi
oo.
ang problema ng marami ay wala naman silang lupa. Swerte tayo, meron tayong garden, meron hydroponics, pero ang concern lang nila, baka daw mahal. So, kaya natin patunayan na mura at kaya natin gawin?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. At ang gagawin natin, sisimulan natin mula dun sa, kung dalawa to, no? Isang potted garden at saka yung hydroponics. Dun sa potted gardening, ituturo natin sa kanila kung anong mga material ang pwedeng gamitin mula sa mga nagamit ng mga bagay-bagay ang pwedeng gawing taniman. At kung paano tayo maglalagay ng lupa, saan tayo kukuha ng lupa. Tuturo din natin kung paano magko-compost sa loob ng bahay, sa loob ng maliit na bakuran o sa pasilyo ng kanilang apartment upang magamit nila itong pataba doon sa kanilang mga halamang mga nakapaso. At sapagkat ito ay nasa loob ng kanilang mga bakuran at kakainin natin yung mga itinatanim, ay magtuturo din tayo ng paraan ng paggamit ng halimbawa ng mga fertilizers na hindi makakasama doon sa halaman o sa ating mga katawan pag kinain natin ng gulay. Magtuturo din tayo ng paraan upang hindi dumapo at kainin ng insekto ang mga halaman, ang mga gulay na itatanim natin, nang hindi tayo gagamit ng insecticide. Okay, maraming paraan ang Los Baños na nadiskubre para maiwasan na kainin ng mga insekto ang ating mga halaman. Yun naman pangalawa, yung hydroponics naman, ituturo din natin kung anong mga plastic, ang mga bagay na itatapon na sana ay magagamit pa natin, i-recycle natin, garapon, balde, maituturo natin sa kanilang lahat ito. Hindi kinakailangang bumili ng hiwalay na o separate na material, particular na material para tayo ay magkaroon ng potted garden o hydroponics garden sa ating mga bahay, bakuran o lugar.
Very good. Kailan magiging available yan, President Danny? At saka sana online, sana naka-Facebook permanente o naka-YouTube para accessible lahat ng mga learning materials na sinasabi mo. Una, yung organic fertilizer. Alam natin, galing naman yan sa food waste, galing naman yan sa mga dry leaves at twigs, di ba? Yan ay parte ng Republic Act 9003, yung Ecological Solid Waste Management. So, alam ng UP Los Baños yan, at pwede nilang ituro gaya ng tinuturo namin ni Sonia Mendoza sa mga barangay, sa mga LGU. Tapos yung sinasabi mong hydroponics, hindi ko pa nasubukan yan. Magandang subukan yan na hindi lang magtatanim sa lupa, kundi maski walang lupa. How will, sa mga nanonood sa atin, dahil permanente naman itong Zoom session na sa Facebook Live at ilalagay ko sa Facebook at YouTube na nandyan, sabihin nila, ano bang pinag-uusapan ni President Danny at saka ni Loren at saka ni Gabby? Saan ba namin ma-access? Sa anong webinar? Sa anong lecture? Anong learning or link na makikita? So saan nila ililink or mababasa, makikita yung instructional na ating pinag-uusapan, President Danny?
Makikita po nila ito sa website ng UP, sa TV UP. Pero gagawin din natin itong available sa YouTube. At nakikipag-partner kami sa Department of Agriculture. Ano? Kasi yung Department of Agriculture, pumunta sa atin kinausap tayo ni Secretary Dar. At ang sabi niya, baka pwede na magkaroon tayo ng model farm dito sa UP. Ang sabi ko naman, baka hindi kinakailangan ng model farm kasi wala naman silang farm doon sa kanilang mga bahay-bahay. Baka sa halip na model farm, kukuha kami ng isang location ng mga bahay at doon natin kukuhanan ng video mula sa pagtatanim, sa pagpiprepara ng lupa hanggang sa lumaki, magkabunga, yung itinanim natin. Pero ang location natin is actual location sa isang bahay, sa isang masikip na na lugar. Oo, dito sa lungsod. So it will be a video production. At
Very good.
ito ay ginagawa na namin ngayon. Ang in charge dito ay si baka natatandaan mo, si Gigi Alfonso.
Nako!
Teacher mo yan.
Okay, we will have part 2 of this. Gawin natin.
Yes.
Okay, ganito ha. Ayan na. Nanganganak na, they call it nanganganak. Ang buong UP system, payag ka ba, President Danny? Papayag syempre. Can we have a Zoom session with the whole UP system and professors and deans, and they will show us yung gulayan nila sa bawat campus at individual homes. In short, let UP take the lead. UA, also Antique will take the lead. We will have a UP UA exclusive Zoom session, but live streamed live, so that they know that the president and the lawmaker are not just talking but doing. Promise?
Yes.
Yes. Maganda
So,
yan.
Okay.
Pero may dadagdag lang ako, Senadora, ano Alam mo, kung
baka ma-confuse sila sa Antique, hindi Senadora tawag sa akin, Inday Loren.
Oo nga, Inday, si Loren. Alam mo, kung pupunta ka dito sa Diliman at ikaw ay maglalakad, makikita mo napakadaming nakatanim, maraming tumutubong halaman.
Yes,
So,
yes.
alam mo ba, na sa pagkadami-dami ng mga tumutubong halaman sa ating mga bakuran, sa buong kapuluan, wala pang 5% na mga tumutubo ang alam nating kinakain.
Oo nga.
Sa madalit sabi, kung maraming tumutubo dyan na makakain pala pero hindi natin alam.
Ay, nako! Yan ang alam ko. Pero marami pa tayong sasali sa atin, mami, alam nila. Alam mo ba, gumagapang yung talinum, tapos marami
Exactly.
At alam mo yon.
Talinom, may talinom kami dito sa Executive House.
Kinakain
Madami.
ko ang talinom tuwing umaga. Hindi alam ng mga kasamahan ko kung ano yung talinom. Sabi ko, parang Philippine spinach. Tapos kinakain ko rin yung oxalis, maasim. Ay, mahusay din yan. Tapos yung kulitis na binanggit mo, meron din ako niyan. Tapos yung puno, sabi, ano yan? Sabi ko, alagaw. Ano yung alagaw? Aba, yung alagaw, hindi lang para balutin ang isda, kundi pati yung dahon ay pwedeng, basta malinis, kinakain din yan. So, ang daming mga, alam mo ba pati ang neem tree? Kala ko ang neem ay kontra lamok lang. Alam mo ba ang neem na dahon, pwede palang pakuluan at pwedeng neem tea? Hindi lang neem tree. O yun.
So in short,
Don't blame me pag malason kayo.
in short,
Alam mo, teka, si Ipat Luna, Ipat, nandyan ka ba? Ano ba tawag mo sa akin? Albularyo? Or baka it was a friend who said? Kasi si Dr. Crespo, tawa ka ng tawa dyan. Sa Antique, marami kaming herbalists. Anong tawag sa ating local language kinaraya? Siguro yung influential, o baka ninuno ko. Albularyo na nga ang tawag sa akin dahil sa bawat halaman, alam ko, si Gina De Venecia, yan, kasama natin, nanunood ngayon si Congressman Tof. Ang nanay niya sabi, ano naman si Loren, puro gulay. Parang albularyo na, lahat na ng mga dahon, alam niya at alam niya yung paggamit. Antioxidant yan. Ay, malakas yan sa vitamin C. Ay, ganito yan. Anyway, I'll stop talking. O sige, President Danny, bigay mo sa amin yung link o kung hindi pa ready, please, as soon as you have it, can you kindly give it to me so that we can post it on our Facebook and everybody can access that. Please. I'd like to hear from Attorney Gabby. Gabby, paano ba yung gumamela? Mahirap ba magpasibol ng gumamela? Patingin naman ang bulaklak mo. May sample ka ba dyan?
Mamaya kukuha ako. Papakita ko sa iyo. Pero madali lang. Actually, dahil nga ngayon, there's luxury of time because of this quarantine, no? So we actually have time to smell the flowers literally. Actually, yung pag-start ng garden, parang akin yung idea na yun eh. Pero nag-take over na siya as full-time hardinero. So I have time to concentrate on my flowers. Yung gumamela, actually, it's a work in progress. Yung, syempre, kailangan mag-research kung paano ba napapropagate ang isang halaman katulad ng gumamela. So, nag-experiment ako kung by cuttings ay effective naman, nakakapagpunla na ako ng gumamela. Ang work in progress ko ngayon ay marketing.
Anong tawag mo?
Marketing.
Pinapaugatan.
Pinapaugat yung branch habang nakakabit pa siya dun sa sa puno.
Okay. Isama natin yan kung paano gawin. Teka, marami ako Roselle flower hibiscus. That's in the family of Gumamela, right?
Yes. Gumamela is actually hibiscus.
Okay. So ang aking hibiscus ay aking kinakain. Yung kanyang bulaklak ay ginagawa ko marmalade o jam o pinapakulo ko at hibiscus tea o Roselle tea at ang kanyang mga bulaklak ay pampaasim. Tama ba yung ginagawa ko? Or hindi nyo alam yung ginagawa ko?
Tama yan.
Siya alam niya, pero syempre, sa marami sa atin, ang alam lang na ginagamit sa Gumamela, pampaganda ng bubbles, di ba? Nung bata tayo.
Oo, yes. Okay.
Paggawa ng bubbles, lalagyan mo ng Gumamela para mas strong yung mga bubbles.
Yes. Oh, that's also very good.
Alam ko ginagawa na natin yan.
I want to see your Gumamela. Gusto ko rin makita lahat ng gulay ni President Danny. O sige, next time sa UP sa UP special natin, lahat ng letrato at video ng iyong gulay at mga bulaklak ay kasama doon. At lahat ng campuses dapat pagandahan Pagandahan. O sige. Si CP David is with us. Dr. David, are you with us? Hi, Dr. David.
I'm here, Senator Lauren.
Very good. Bakit Senator pa rin tawag nyo? O sige, tell us about your proposal. Habang nandyan si President Danny.
That's right.
How are you collaborating with UP for your project? Tell us more, Dr. David. Ano ba yung DOST-funded project? Tell us about the DOST and UP at anong joint project nyo. Take it away, Dr. Carlos Primo.
Thank you, Senator. It cannot come at a more opportune time for this proposal because I know President Danicon is a farmer by heart. No? Hindi ko alam bakit napunta ka sa law, President, pero I'm sure farmer ka at heart. Starting in 2017, UP Diliman is also now an agriculture research center. Hindi na lang kami sa UPLB nagre-research ng agriculture. We established what is called as the Smart Plant Production in Controlled Environment Center. It's actually a building being constructed in UP Diliman where all the hydroponic experiments are being conducted. And if we can just go back or go forward in our presentation, there are 3 levels of urban farming. One is backyard or community farming, which we are promoting. Of course, this is limited to space that is within our property. The second one is commercial, more often than not hydroponic farming. May limitations din sa space. But this is gaining ground, as you will find out from our speakers later on. And then the third level of urban farming is what we call as vertical farming. And the demo farms for vertical farming are actually in UP campus, Senator Lauren. Since, sayang nagka-lockdown lang, but since last year, I actually produce all the lettuce that's needed in our local cafe in UP campus. Yung Chocolate Kiss Cafe where I deliver 1 kilo of lettuce every day. Sometimes pag may sobra, dinadalang ko si President Danicon sa office niya nung lettuce that we produce. No? Next slide, please. My point is that urban farming should not only be confined in our own backyards. We can make this even bigger. And if we look at Metro Manila, of course, it's highly urbanized, but there's still pockets of land where there's still open space where we can do massive urban gardening, urban farming. And I put this slide in front of you. These pockets are in BGC, so private property na yan, we can't do anything about it. But a big part is still the Navy Command. And if we can talk to them, they're open spaces that are not being used for any particular purpose. We should be utilizing that for farms. Then there are 3 small circles, no? Pockets of land where there's idle lands in Camp Aguinaldo, in Wakwak, And Barangay Mauay in Mandaluyong is actually where the mental health hospital is located. Malaki rin yung open space niyan. To me, it's almost a crime, Senator Lauren, if we have idle lands within Metro Manila that we're not utilizing, lalo na if it's a government-owned property. The largest...
I'm glad you mentioned that because we have the Forest Garden Act, which is pending in Congress, but we already finished the committee report with the Agriculture Chair, Kong Mark and Verga, and it would mandate forest, every garden, open space to be an edible garden, edible forest. Every square meter. Continue. Continue.
By far the largest open area in Metro Manila is the uppermost circle in the picture in front of you, which is the UP Diliman campus. Next slide, please. Zooming into UP Diliman, we will still see areas that are still not yet developed. They're still waiting for development, either for buildings or for whatever purpose. And I measured, I counted all these open areas. We have at least 25 hectares of land area in UP campus. And this excludes parks and the sunken garden, by the way, if you're familiar with the UP campus.
Yes.
Those are not included because we use them as parks and open spaces. What I'm talking about are these land areas that are still not yet developed, and there's 25 hectares. So the proposal to Danicon that I sent was to make UP campus as a major food production area. This is beyond backyard gardening. We want to produce our own food. And the purpose of producing our own food, next slide please, connects to, next slide please, connects to a lot of, a lot of it connects back to climate change, for example, during times of calamities, flooding and pandemics and so on and so forth. No, we want our food to be within our reach. We want our food to be, we want to know where our food is coming from, to know that it's fresh and free of pesticides and so on and so forth.
Yes.
No?
Now that you've identified the 25 hectares, President Danny, are you still with us? Have you already inked the agreement between the Climate Change Commission, where you are with the National Panel of Experts, and the DOST, where you're also connected, and the land is available, and the willingness of President Danicon? In short, can we, if the agreement is not yet inked, can we ink it now on this session, and then let's start it today, tomorrow? Is there any impediment for us to plant gulay in all these 25 hectares, President Danny?
We are still studying how to do it. Kasi baka ayaw nating maulit yung nangyari sa isang farm na nagtanim ng gulay dyan sa harapan. Naging agrarian problem yun eh. Nung natapos ang kanilang kontrata, yung mga pinasok nilang mga trabahador, ayaw nang umalis kasi ang sabi nila ay mga mga agricultural workers sila. So pinag-aaralan natin ito.
Yes,
tingnan natin kung ano ang proseso, kung sino ang gagawa, kung sino ang magtatanim, na hindi dumami ang problema natin.
Yes.
Pero yung dalawang malaking space, pagpasok mo sa University Avenue, yung dalawang magkabila, parks land, parehong park yan. So i-develop natin sila as parks. So hindi pa, only a small portion of those two parcels of land will be available for food production kasi kinakailangan ding may tanim yung park. Ngayon, ang ating idea ngayon sa park, mas magtatanim na tayo sa halip na flowering plants lang, na hindi naman nakakain, magtanim na tayo ng mga flowering plants na nakakain na rin. Okay, so ang tawag natin dyan is edible garden.
Yes, edible garden. Exactly. So, sa 25 hectares na yan, tignan natin kung ano ang allowable legally, and then let's develop it, plant. Anyway, gobyerno naman hindi naman private sector ang kamowa ninyo. That's going to be DOST, ang proposal ni Dr. David. So perhaps, maybe in the next few months, we can already have samples of pockets in UP that has started into hydroponics, into these edible gardens or forest gardens in whatever way we want. Let's go from another state university, my alma mater, to my other state university, one of my favorite, the University of Antique. You have 5 campuses. I've not visited you recently because of the lockdown in Manila, Dr. Crespo. Dapat nagtatanim na kayo, ha? Ang dami kong binibigay na tulong sa inyo. Yes, can you show UP what Antique is doing? Okay, take it away, Dr. Crespo. Ang laki ng lupa nyo, ha?
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Deputy Speaker Inday Loren, and thank you for inviting me in this conversation. Hello, President Danny. Kamusta kayo dyan?
Oh, kamusta?
Nice meeting you here, virtual. Yes, actually, Deputy Speaker Inday Loren, what President Danny Con is doing, ginagawa ko din kasi sa President Cottage din ng University of Antique, I also grow vegetables. I also grow vegetable. The last time we talked about this, remember, that was, I believe, April yon. You showed me about the vegetable that you're growing in your home. And sabi ko din sa'yo, nagtatanim din ako. And Deputy Speaker, ito na po yung mga vegetable namin dito sa University of Antique main campus sa Sibalom, which is also replicated. Now, which is also replicated in other campuses, 5 campuses.
Very good.
Of Antique.
Sibalom, this is Sibalom campus. Okay.
Yeah, this is actually Sibalom campus. Mayroon tayong lettuce, pichay, okra. This time, ang ginamit natin dyan is container gardening kasi sa main campus, 12 hectares siya. So, hindi masyadong spacious yung University of Antique main campus sa Sibalom. Next picture, please. No? Sa ibang picture natin sa mga vegetables natin gulayan. We also grow actually at the back of my cottage. Sa cottage ko yan, Deputy Speaker. May mga okra tayo dyan, malunggay, marami. In fact, I am also very happy to tell you that ang mga construction worker natin dito na nagsistay sa University of Antique, because we have some construction, diyan sila kumukuha ng gulay. And I told them, wala kayong pagkain, kuha kayo sa vegetables natin.
Dapat lahat ng mga stay-in, lahat ng mga in-house sa university, libre na ang kanilang tinatanim. Oo.
Yes, yes. In fact, kanina nga lang, yung dalawang nagtatrabaho doon, sir, pwede ba kami hingi ng talong dito? Sabi ko, yes, you can. So, yun. They are actually now, niluluto na yung mga vegetables natin, no? Sa ibang campuses din, next slide please. Yung mga students din natin, kasi may mga students din tayo dito sa university, particularly yung ROTC natin, sinabihan ko din sila, may space sa likod ng ng tahanan ninyo. Why not plant vegetables? So ito na yung garden ng ROTC students natin. So marami din silang vegetables diyan. So sa ibang campuses, ganun din, no? Malawak yung lupa natin. Sa UA Hamtic campus, sa Gintas Hamtic, mayroon tayong 42 hectares. Yung sa San Romeo natin na site, Deputy Speaker, mayroon tayong 113 hectares. At saka may plano doon ng University of Antique. Yung Tibiao campus natin naman, malawak yun, 16 hectares. Yung Libertad at saka Kaluya, medyo ang space, hindi ganong malawak. But of course, they're also into container gardening. And gusto ko din sabihin sa'yo na yung Hamtic campus natin, which is actually ang niche program ng Hamtic campus natin, ay agriculture. They have introduced edible landscaping doon sa UA Hamtic campus. In fact, isang extension project na ginawa ng UA Hamtic natin sa Barangay Gintas din ay yung pag-come up ng edible landscaping. At saka yung sinabi ni President Danicon, yung inventory at saka collection ng indigenous food species natin, ginagawa din yan, Ma'am Loren, ng mga taga-UA Hamtic campus natin. In fact, yung campus director natin, nagsabi nga sa akin, Sir, ginagawa na namin dito, marami tayong mga plants, mga herbs, na akala nila hindi kinakain. Kaya nagsinabi mo din, kinakain pala. And so we'll be coming up with a book about that one. No? And we also have one project now, one collaboration. Kaso lang nga naudlot because of the COVID with the Central Philippine State University. And because they have perfected the technology on vermicomposting. And I already have a collaboration with the president, Moraca of the CPSU, Central Philippine State University, that is in Negros. And we will make sure na sa lahat ng campuses ng University of Antique, mag-vermicomposting.
Dr. Crespo, can we please make sure that all the 5 campuses of the University of Antique and President Danny Con, can we make sure that all the campuses of UP actually implement strictly Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2001, where segregation at source, recycling, and composting must be institutionalized in every building, in every home, so that we have material recovery facility kung saan yung bote, lata, plastic, and we will have our own compost pit where we throw our food waste and we put our dry leaves and twigs. And that is the reason why we have Sonia Mendoza, a very dear friend who shares our advocacy on segregation and ecological solid waste, to react to what UP has shown, to what Dr. David of the OST, and to what University of Antique has shown. We have Sonia Mendoza, so that she would show how barangays can have a compost pit, how we can actually have community food gardens, and share with us some of the composting methods. I hope that Sonia is with us so that we will see how households, dapat po ang office nyo ha, Dr. Crespo, ang basurahan 3 ha, iba po yung papel, iba po yung food waste, iba po yung bote, plastic, lata, iba po yung pang-4 pala, yung latak o residual waste. President Danny ha, pati bahay nyo dyan ha. Okay, Sonia, are you with us? Can you explain to us more my law of 2001? If you are with us, our partner is Mother Earth Foundation.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Ready si Sonia. Very good. Hi, good morning.
Morning, Inday Loren. So, urban gardening is the way to go at this time of the pandemic and at all times. The basic thing to do is to follow our Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, the law principally authored by Inday Loren. And the basic mandate of this is source segregation. So we have to segregate food waste from the other wastes, the one for recycling and the household hazardous and special waste and the residual waste. This is to establish the integrity of the compost that will be produced from food and other organic waste. So ang basic po ng urban gardening and all gardening is really segregation of the waste. Gamitin ang food waste for composting. The food waste provides the nitrogen for the compost, and the other organic waste like dried leaves, cartons, wood shavings, cut grass will provide the carbon much needed by the soil. Ito po yung pinaka-cheap na method of composting is the living method. Maghukay ng maliit lang na hukay, hindi kailangang malalim at malaki para mas mabilis ang composting. So compost is not a fertilizer with a prescribed, alam lang po lahat ng nandito, mga eksperto na nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, but it is a soil enhancer. At pag ginamit yun sa gardening, guaranteed po yung ating mga matatabang gulay at saka fruits. Avoid using chemical fertilizers and pesticides kasi it will deplete the soil nutrients. Tapos pesticides po, nakakalason pa yan. Compost will restore the topsoil or humus of the soil. Sabi nga nila, wala na tayong sense of humus. Yung topsoil po natin nawala na kasi because of using chemical fertilizers. So kailangan yan ma-restore sa soil by doing composting. So hindi po tayo pwede mag-gardening kung hindi muna tayo magko-compost. Yun po ang basic niya. Isa pa, pagka kayo ay nag-mower ng inyong lawn, huwag niyong walisin at ilagay sa plastic bag yung inyong cut grass. Ito ay walisin ng distribute evenly to your lawn at pabayaan mabulok yun. Fertilizer na po yun ng mga damo. So, dapat po i-return to soil tayo, lalo na dito sa syudad.
May question ako, Sonia. Ang dami-dami ko nakikita sa subdivision, sa mga villages, maski sa mga hindi enclosed subdivisions na pinipick up ng basurero, ng garbage collector sa mga bahay, ang mga naputol na sanga at mga dry leaves na naka-plastic supot. Hindi nila alam, common sense, pero mukhang hindi alam talaga ng mga residente, pinapakolekta pa sa garbage collector ang dry leaves, twigs, and cut na sanga. Siguro wala silang lugar na makakabaon sa lupa. So what do you do pag hindi mo kayang itago under the ground in a compost pit? Because I see the garbage collectors collecting. I feel so violated because that's my law. Oo, anong dapat gawin, Sonia?
Yun po nga, sabi ko, wag ilagay sa plastic bag ito tapos dadalhin sa dump site or landfill. Ito gagawa ng madaming plastic waste tapos magkakaroon pa ng global warming because of methane production. So yung pong dried leaves, gagamitin natin sa ating composting yan. Kapag nakapaghukay kayo ng maliit na hukay o sa paso, maglagay ng, kung sa paso, maglalagay ng konting soil and then ilalagay yung food waste. Lalagyan ng dried leaves, cut grass, tapos saka iwan na yon para at laglagyan ulit ng lupa para hindi
walang lugar. Ang problema, spasyo. Sa mga maraming puno, tapos wala naman flat na land kung saan makaka-dig ng compost pit, kaya nila pinapakolekta. Yun ang problema. How do you solve that, Sonia?
Yung kung ganon, kung sa barangay yon, dahil maraming bahay, kailangan gagamitin nila dun sa kanilang composting area. Yung mga dried leaves na yan. Minsan po kulang pa yan eh. Ngayon, ang isa namin nagaginawa dito ni Odette noon sa Blue Ridge, yung dahon na marami, kasi maraming puno dito, naglagay kami ng yung used fish net, yung lumang net, may sa pader, ipapako mo yon sa dalawang sides. Tapos lahat ng dahon na nalalaglag, ilagay mo sa loob nito. Tapos pag dumating na yung mga like 1 month, kukunin mo na yung nabulok na dahon sa ilalim. So compost na yon, tapos lagay ka lang ng lagay ng dahon sa ibabaw.
Pakituruan sa mga hindi pa marunong mag-composting na i-implement yung batas natin. Ilang araw, linggo o buwan sa pagtapon mo ng dry leaves, food waste, twigs, sa compost pit o yung binaon mo sa lupa para gamitin. Yan. Isang araw, isang linggo, isang buwan.
Siguro kung merong mga twigs, medyo matagal yon. So yun, ihihiwalay natin yon. Yung dried leaves, kung kasama ng food waste, siguro mahigit 1 buwan. Malalaman mo yon kung compost na yun kapag hinalo mo at wala ng amoy at napakaitim na nung lupa. Yun na yung compost.
Okay. Marami rin nagtatanong, pwede bang isama dito ang tissue waste? Ang tissue ba ay kasama ng papel? Pero ang tissue, toilet paper, basa-basa na yan. Pwede bang isama yan sa compost pit, sa food waste? O ibang baon pa ng lupa yun?
Iniiba namin yan. Dito sa bahay namin, meron kaming maliit na hukay para sa tissue. Kasi ang tissue, usually, binleach yan, kaya siya maputi. So may bleaching agent yan. So hindi namin ginagamit yan na compost para sa mga gulay at prutas. Pwede siya.
Iba pa, hiwalay ang compost pit ng tissue or toilet paper at iba ang food waste na merong dry leaves.
Yes.
Pero ang papel na ginamit harap at likod ay hindi dapat ibaon sa lupa at ito ay tinitimbang, binibenta, binibigay at ireresikulo para maging papel ulit. Hindi ba? Okay.
Yes.
So, maganda yung ginawa mo dyan ng mga tires. Marami mga, so paliwanag mo, yung mga tires na yan, simple, patong-patong para meron ka ng compost pit. Hindi ba? Ganon?
Yes. Yung mga used tires, pwede mong pagpatung-patungin, lagyan mo ng mga bato muna sa ilalim para hindi siya nakalapat na masyado sa lupa. May aeration. At sa bawat pagitan niya, magkaroon din niya ng mga bato para hindi siya compact, no? Para yung hangin pumapasok. Kasi kailangan yun sa composting. Kasi aerobic tayo, yung may hangin para walang methane production.
Okay. Ngayon, marami akong kaibigan nakatira sa building. Paano daw sila magko-composting? Wala naman silang lupa. Ayun. Paano? Sa mga maliliit na lugar, nakatira sa 20 square meters or less na kwarto sa building. Kung gusto nila mag-compost, how do they do it?
Yan, sa mga paso, mas magandang bumili nung paso na clay, no? Imbes na plastic pots. Kung bibili pa rin lang kayo, bilhin niyo yung clay pots. At sa mga, pwede na yan sa pasamano ilagay kung saan merong araw. At saka magkaroon kayo talaga ng lalagyan ng inyong food waste na may takip. Maliit lang naman talaga yung pag sinegregate mo, hindi siya bulto eh. Kaya siya nagiging...
Okay, i-simplify na natin. Pagkain today, yung mga hindi pa nag-i-implement ng ESWM, pagkain, lahat ng food waste, kung kumain ka ng papaya, yung balat, kasi yung mga buto, ihihiwalay mo pa yan. Yung buto, pwedeng tinutuyo. Pag natuyo na yan, pwede mong itanim, pwede mong panregalo, pwedeng pamigay. So yung konting food waste naman yan, halos wala. Nasa isang maliit na drum na may takip o maliit na baso, whatever, na may takip pang araw-araw. Tapos, sasamahan ng lupa. Nakatira siya sa kwarto sa building, walang lupa. Bumili na lang ng konting lupa para may kasama yung food waste, hindi ba?
Yes.
Okay. Meron ka pang slide and then we proceed to our millennial guests. Meron ka pang slide, Sonia? Okay, yan. Sige, proceed.
Okay. Yan yung aking mga tanim sa veranda namin, ang mga herbs. Ito, citronella para sa lamok, sweet basil, may tarragon ako para pag kumain ako ng maraming rich food, nagta-tarragon tea. Ginagaya ko si Sonia's garden. Bibigyan kanya ng tarragon tea. So,
very good.
Veranda, tumutubo siya. Yung basil, ginagamit namin sa pasta.
Very good. Thank you very much. You stay on, Sonia Mendoza, because you will also comment on our millennial guests. We have Carlos Sumawang. Did I pronounce your family name correctly? We welcome our millennials to join us because we want this advocacy of urban agriculture, rural farming, forest gardens, edible gardens, whichever we call it, to go viral. Okay, Carlo, is urban gardening a growing interest among millennials or just midlifers like myself? Hi, Carlo.
Ayan, next slide please. So
Sumawang,
siguro po, Sumawang po.
Sumawang.
Yes, from Tarlac.
Where
Siguro,
are you from, Carlo?
From Tarlac po yung province namin, pero Metro Manila po ako based. Ayan. So, is it a growing interest? Siguro po magandang ipakita namin sa inyo yung mga natutunan namin when we started po yung Manila Grow Kids. Nung una po kasi, yung family din po kasi namin sa Tarlac, may farm din kami and organic fertilizers po kami for the longest time. So bilang bata po ako ng pamilya na medyo matagal na sa pagpa-farming, parang kinati po yung utak ko para at least kung paano ko i-offer, kumbaga, yung farming dito naman sa Metro Manila. And when I started po, nung back in 2016, ang kala ko, sobrang dali lang and kala ko ang ganda ng perception ng mga bata towards farming. Pero when we started offering po yung grow kits and promoting farming po back in 2016, na-realize namin halos walang gustong magtanim sa mga kabataan. And doon po kami nag-umpisa magtanong kung saan nanggagaling. Siguro long story short po, na-realize namin na yung core values, kumbaga, nung agrikultura or ng farming sa po ng mga kabataan, sobrang pong magkaiba. So, dun po sa screen nyo ngayon, yung si nanay na nasa may left side po, yan po basically yung agrikultura natin. And then kami naman po mga bata, yung mga nakangiti on the right side. Pero suma total po, yung core values nila, agrikultura po kasi, hinihingi sa atin is basically hardworking dapat tayo, traditional process, medyo mabagal kasi pag nagtanim po tayo ng buto, it takes 7 days po yung pinakamabilis for some. And then humble, profession, tradition. Pero yung mga kabataan po kasi, ang gusto nila, convenience, technology, gadget, yun na po yung mga kinahihiligan nila. And of course, gusto nila ng mabilis. They're very ambitious and image-centric. Tsaka puro innovation po yung gusto nila. Next slide po. Yun. So, noong 2016 po, nung try namin mag-promote ng urban farming sa Kamaynilaan, gumawa po kami ng informal survey dito po sa Metro Manila. Simple po yung ginawa namin. 100 respondents, o nagtanong po kami ng 100 kabataan, mga kaedad ko po at that time, na nakatira po sa Metro Manila. Simple lang po yung tinanong namin. Ano yung tingin nyo sa farming or gardening in general? So, nung naghihintay po kami ng results, nung pagsasaliksik namin or pagtanong namin, akala namin maganda yung perception ng mga kabataan. Pero as it turns out, back in 2016 po, almost 80% po nung nakuha namin results, sobrang negative nung connotation nila with farming or gardening in general. And naglagay po kami ng some of the responses na nakuha namin. Yung iba sinabi sa amin, definitely not for me. Or yung iba sinasabi sa amin, hindi na uso yan, ano ba? Or Wi-Fi, you can easily get them naman daw in the grocery. So parang kami po, nung nag-umpisa kami mag-promote ng farming, nahihirapan kami kasi hindi po namin alam kung saan nanggagaling yung negative perception ng mga kabataan towards farming and gardening. Kaya, next slide po. Kaya yung naging objective po ng company namin, Urban Farming, is basically palitan yung perception ng mga kabataan towards farming. So ang sabi nila, ang hirap magtanim or hindi kami marunong magtanim, hindi namin alam kung saan mag-uumpisa. Ang ginawa po namin is basically to change that perspective. So naglabas po kami ng grow kits. Ito po yung picture na nakikita niyo sa harap sa screens niyo ngayon. Basically, ang ginawa namin, lahat ng kailangan nyo para mag-start kayo magpalaki ng halaman, nasa isang box na. And then, ang sabi nila, ang karamihan po sa kanila, very impatient. So, ang ginawa po namin, yung unang mga produkto po na nilabas namin, kailangan mag-sprout within 7 days. Kasi pagka medyo longer than 7 days po, nabuboring na sila, and ayaw nilang ituloy yung pagtatanim. So, yun po yung ginawa namin, is really try to make farming relatable. Ika nga, next slide. So, make farming relatable. Ang ginawa po namin is, sabi namin, saan ba nagpupunta yung mga kabataan? Ano ba yung mga works nila? Nag-umpisa po yung campaign namin in trying to parang persuade yung mga kabataan natin. Nanonood po ako ng TV noon. I can vividly remember. And then, hindi po kasi ako mahilig sa sports. So, may lumabas na news items na sports. And then, ang immediate impulse ko po as someone na hindi naman ako mahilig sa sports is skip po yung channel or ilipat yung channel or maghanap ng ibang pasok sa interest ko. And it dawned on me na parang baka pwede rin maging ganun yung strategy para mag-invite ng mga kabataan towards farming. Kasi po, if farming is very distant po dun sa ginagawa nila, sa mga pinakahiligan nila, most often than not, pag may nakita po silang news article about farming, ililipat po nila yung channel or they'd skip. So sabi namin, baka pwede natin gamitin parang entrada ng farming sa mga kabataan, yung ganong mindset. So ang ginawa po namin, sabi namin mga kabataan ngayon, mahilig sa Instagram, mahilig sa Twitter, kailangan maganda yung packaging. So sort of, ang ginawa po namin is, sinabayan po namin kung ano yung lifestyle ng mga kabataan. Kasi alam namin na hanggat hindi magiging relatable para sa kanila yung is they'd skip or hindi nila papansinin yung mga nakikita nila. So yung pictures po na nasa slides, so ginawa po namin, sabi namin kailangan maganda yung packaging. So yung packaging po ng mga group kits namin is parang sort of pang Instagram kasi yun po yung magiget ng attention nila. And malinaw po sa amin yun na once na nahawakan nila yung box namin, medyo may chance na kami na mahila sila towards farming. Kasi not unless hawakan nila kami, pansinin nila kami, or itry nila kami, never nilang may experience for themselves yung farming. So some of the pictures, yung boxes po, and then naglalabas din kami ng mga special edition kits pagka Valentine's Day, para lang at least kada life parang season or kada merong something na nangyari sa buhay ng kabataan, nandun po kami. So instead, nag-promote po kami nung Valentine's, I think 2 years ago, na instead na bulaklak ang ibigay mo sa mga partner mo, bakit hindi mo bigyan ng grow kit? Sila yung magpalaki ng bulaklak nila.
Okay. Yung grow kit mo, ganun din ba yung grow kit ng DA? Namimigay din ang ATI ng DA, they're with us now, ng DA kit, yung grow kit. So ang grow kit mo, meron ka mga buto, di ba?
May buto po siya, may seeds, may soil na rin po siya.
Soil.
Manual po.
Do you sell it? Do you give it away?
We sell it po. Currently, dito po sa Metro Manila, and then, nung una po, parang gift item lang namin siya binibigay.
Okay.
Parang paregalo. Pero,
well, we are giving away grow kits from DA. I am giving away seeds na aking dinadry. Ipat Luna is also with us, gives away seeds and seedlings as well. Help us, Carlo, to make farming, as you say, relatable to the millennials. I don't agree lang with one thing you said na hindi uso yan. Usong-uso yan.
well, yun nga po, Deputy Speaker, yun yung conception na gusto talaga namin tanggalin sa utak ng mga kabataan. Yun po is parang 4 years ago. Pero sobrang saya po namin kasi sa little effort, and katulad po ng mga farmers na kasama ko po ngayon dito, talagang naiengganyo ng mga kabataan to start.
Alam mo, importante kung paano natin gawing uso, mag-partner tayo. Una, paintindi natin na mas mura pag ikaw ay nag-grow ng sarili mong kinakain. Pangalawa, pag yung mga tinatanim natin ay may silbi sa atin. Kaya, do you have another slide? We will go now to a chef who will tell us how the plants that we plant can actually be used for our food. Carlo, I'd like to see all your slides, but if you've shown your slides, we will go now to a chef. Carlo, are you there? Napakita mo na yung mga slides mo?
May isang slide na lang. I think
yes,
isang slide
can you show it, please? I like the plant at your back. What is that, Carlo?
Ito po ba? Yung malaki. Likwala po yun.
Mo?
Likwala po. Mga indoor plants po. Mahilig din po ako sa indoor plants.
Oo. Ano yan? Yan ba yung fig? Yung ficus?
Apo. Fig po itong medyo malaki rin dito sa gilid ko.
Okay. Ayan. Transition from my story to our story and their story. Okay, very good.
So, bali, ang ginawa po namin, so, naglabas kami ng grow kit and then ang ginawa namin, collaborate. So, sabi namin, mga kabataan ngayon hilig sa gym. So, nakikipag-partner po kami ngayon to different brands, katulad ng mga gym, mga yoga. Kasi alam po namin na talagang nandun yung mga kabataan, and not unless makita nila yung value dun sa mundong ginagalawan nila. Mas maraming chance kami talaga na ma-invite sila. And last po, siguro to answer po yung question yung kanina, Deputy Speaker, kung nagiging patok na ba sa mga kabataan, the answer is yes. We're very happy to say na after so many years na nag-push kami in inviting people to farm, ang dami na po ngayon ng mga first-time na growers na talagang tinutuloy-tuloy nila yung pagtatanim nila. So, nagpapakita na po ako ng mga ibang pictures. Yan po yung mga tinanim nila.
Can I see you have more pictures of young ones now? Or we will have one show dedicated to growers younger than 40 years old.
Oh, marami na po yan.
Sonia Mendoza and Ipat Luna and then the others, and maybe me, I cannot, but I will host it, but I will not talk. We will, you all stay on because we have a chef with us. Okay, join us. Jam Melchor is with the Slow Food Youth movement, and tell us more. Of course, I know the slow food, but tell us what activities you're doing and how are we making urban gardening, edible gardens a part of everyday life? How do we convince people to go slow food? Chef Jam.
Hi, Deputy Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hindi ako sanay natawag Deputy Speaker. Anyway.
Oo nga po eh.
Okay. Go, Jam.
At the moment, dalawa po yung organizations na hawak ko. First is the Philippine Culinary Heritage Movement, and second is the Slow Food Youth Network Philippines. Ang Philippine Culinary Heritage Movement po, ang trust namin is to promote and preserve our Philippine food culture. So isa po sa mga project namin ay ang National Filipino Food Month. Isinulong po namin ito nung panahon ni President Pinoy, pero pinirmahan ni President Duterte as Proclamation 469 that every April of each year, dapat i-celebrate natin ang Filipino food. So all over the country, kailangan po para siyang linggo ng wika in all state colleges, in all municipalities, dapat ang pagkain Pilipino i-celebrate natin. Most especially the heirloom dishes.
Hindi mo sinabi sa akin nung April, kasi ang alam ko sa April, Earth Day. Hindi ko alam yung Filipino Food Month. Can we belatedly celebrate it? O sige.
Pwede po, pwede po. Ang lead implementer po dito is DA and NCCA. Ang pinaka nag-conceptualize po nito ay ako, kasi talagang sinulong ko po na talagang dapat magkaroon ng celebration ng pagkain Pilipino And gastronomy as a form of art. Kasi currently, ang nare-recognize lang po ng ating gobyerno ay 7 forms of art. At dapat ikawalo ang gastronomy. And then, second po is of course yung Slow Food Youth Network Philippines na hinahawakan ko ngayon. Ang aming pong objective and thrust is of course to fight food waste. Bago po nag-start itong pandemic, nagkaroon po kami ng World Disco Soup Day at every time na nag-organize po kami, we gather this imperfect produce and then we make something out of it and then pinapakain po namin dun sa mga taong nagugutom. Bago po nag-start yung pandemic, yung grupo din po namin, we started to reach out sa mga local government units para po sabihan yung mga mayors natin na instead of giving mga canned goods, baka pwedeng mga fresh produce yung kanilang ipamigay kasi definitely mas healthy. And bago po nag-start itong pandemic, umiikot din po kami sa iba-ibang schools because we want to teach yung youth na dapat ang approach nila sa pagkain is multifaceted. Ibig sabihin, dapat hindi lang sila active sa keyboard, pero lumabas sila at magtanim, makihalubilo sa mga farmers, bumisita sa mga farms. At syempre, kami pong mga chefs, hindi lang kami dapat nagluluto. Dapat alam namin kung saan nanggagaling yung pagkain
Meron ka
na...
na bang blog na sinasabi mo yung mga tinatanim natin na hindi alam na normal ng tao ay pwedeng lutuin? Sana magligawa ka ng gano'n. For example, yung sinabi ko yung alagaw o yung libas, for example, o yung oxalis o yung talino, hindi yung common na bahay kubo vegetables, pwedeng kainin. Sana maglista ka ng tanim, may letrato, saan makakuha ng seedling, ng punla, tapos yung gamit niya at saka health benefits. Pwedeng yan ay maging proyekto ng Slow Food Youth Network para maengganyo ang mga kabataan din. And gaya ng
actually
mo,
po, ang next pong agenda namin, kung hindi lang nangyari itong pandemic, is we want to push for a food mapping na regional. Kasi importante po ang food mapping na ma-identify natin saan ang produce per region, ano ang mga naitatanim natin, at saan pwedeng kunin ito in times of crisis like this para madali po yung ating...
hindi naman, walang connection, Chef Jam, ang pandemic. In fact, all the more we can do it now dahil ang food mapping naman, alam naman ng alam ng DA, ng ATI. In fact, kasama natin si Director sa ATI, that can be a project of DA. They know the sources of food, puno, halaman, or medicinal herb. And then we can do that and map it. And it would be good in this virtual world to just have your slow food movement have Region 1, Cordillera, o sa amin sa Region 6. And you can work with the state universities and colleges. In fact, if I may request you, President Danny is with us. We have President Crespo of UA. Can you pilot your food mapping with my province of Antique, which is my whole district? So after this, you may contact, and I will link you along with my office, Dr. Crespo, so that we see how a state university with 5 campuses in Antique in Region 6 can do food mapping by having the list of trees, plants, vegetables, herbs, and flowers, which are also edible. I will link you with our provincial agriculturist and with the UA with President Crespo. And I hope that Dr. Carlo David can do that as a project of DOST as well. And we have Director Rosella of the DAATI, and we have President Danny as well. So food mapping is very important because as a heritage culinary expert, as a chef like you, and somebody like me who's so much into archiving, just like I've done mapping of all our protected areas, and I legislated the expanded integrated protected areas, or INIPAS. Attorney Ipat Luna, say something about it. You know that I also mapped biodiversity in our country. So you are correct. That can be a project of the youth. Do I hear a yes from President Danny that the University of the Philippines system can partner with the slow food movement? And I will also ask CHED so that all SUCs, including mine in Antique, can help a project of the youth map. This is part of culture mapping. And we do culture mapping with NCCA, and I did it before with Professor Eric Cerudo, where we map culture. And food mapping is part of our cultural diversity. So, President Danny, can you comment? Payag ka ba ang UP? Mag-food mapping tayo sa ating mga areas where we belong.
Yes, we've been doing that. We've been doing that, ma'am, and it's part of our food security program.
Okay, maybe you can share what UP has already done. Let's put all our researches and work online so that people know. And then young chefs like Jam Melchor can also help us. And the focal government agency for this, for resilience, is the Climate Change Commission, who are with us now. Vice Chair Manny de Guzman and Commissioner Rachel Herrera, and my office. We have another project now, so watch out for more work, and we're 10 minutes over time, but it's so interesting. Chef Jam, can you promise me that you will not disappear after today and will work with the University of Antique and the office of President Danny and my office and the CCCOM. This will also be a project of Climate Reality Philippines. And in fact, I intend to call Vice President Al Gore to tell him what the Philippines is doing with the climate reality leaders all over the country. Food mapping is so interesting for the youth of our country, not just for the post-millennials like Danny Concepcion and me. For the midlifers. Okay, Chef Jam, back to you. Do you have more slides to show us?
Deputy, basically po ang pinaka gusto ko lang pong sabihin is alam ko po na huge supporter kayo ng NCCA at isa po sa mga pinupush ko ay dapat magkaroon ng komite ang gastronomy. Dahil ang gastronomy ay napakalawak.
What committee do you want? Anong committee?
Gastronomy po.
Gastronomy, okay.
Yes,
can you email me a formal request with the rationale of its importance so that I can discuss it with our chair?
Okay po.
Okay.
Actually, we have been working on this na po for the past few years. Talagang naghahanap lang po kami ng magandang oportunidad para maupuan nito at ma-discuss ng mabuti. Dahil importante na ma-acknowledge na napakalaking industry ng pagkain dito sa ating bansa. And with Filipino Food Month,
a special, sorry to interrupt, Cherie, you're online. We will have a special episode on food. Food in the new norm. It will not be fast food. It will be slow food. It will be food from plants that we grow. It will be food that is watered by rainwater from rainwater catchment. It will be food, vegetables, herbs, and trees and flowers that are fertilized and nurtured by organic compost from food waste from our household waste. So, Chef Jam, you will help us with this so that it is not just talk, okay?
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay.
And thank you very much for championing slow food.
Yes, of course. Yes, yes. I've been an advocate of slow food, maybe not an official member, but I've been living it since the 70s, long before you were born. But after this, I will just summarize that you will email me your request for a committee on gastronomy, and we will have one whole episode on slow food and on the use of ecological solid waste. So even a non-millennial like Sonia Mendoza, Mother Earth, will have to join us para turuan niya ang millennials ng vermiculture, organic compost, and all of that. Now, we proceed now to a farm in Cavite, in Silang, where they practice slow food. Just like my little farm I inherited from my grandmother, Carla has a farm that is family-owned, and she makes use of her land. And she is what we call an earth leader. They do permaculture as we do. I think Patis Tesoro is doing permaculture in San Pablo. I'm doing permaculture as well. I call it organic farming, permaculture, agroecology. There are many buzzwords and terms, but it is important we simplify, explain, operationalize so that everybody understands. So Carla Delgado, Are you here with us, Carla? I see your post on Kai Farms. Tell us about all the gulay and all the flowers and all the plants that you plant. Are you in Silang or are you still in Palawan? And we have our slow food chef, Jam Melchor. Do you know him? Because you're one of the active members, advocates of slow food. Carla and Jam talk to each other.
Yes, we do. We're friends and we collaborate and we support each other. Right now, Senator Lauren or Deputy Speaker Lauren, I am not in Silang Cavite and Kai Farms, but during this lockdown, I am in Palawan. I am in a permaculture farm by the sea in Palawan. And I think that is something that I can bring to today's webinar, the benefits of living in a place like this. I feel that a permaculture by the sea is actually a really good model for the Philippines to follow, because we have protein from fish from the sea that you can only, the slow food way is only getting what you need just for that day. And
continue. Yes, Carla, are you with us? Carla, did we lose you? Are you online? She's in Palawan. Carla was talking about saving seeds.
Philippines.
Yes. Continue. Okay.
So here I have been saving seeds during the lockdown, and I would like to use my time today to share a little bit about why, the top 3 reasons on why we should save seeds. So number 1 is seeds are wealth. As we know, anybody can save seeds. And currently in the Philippines, most farms don't save their own seeds. Most farms buy seeds. So by saving our own seeds and knowing how to do this, farms will be able to save cash in their farming operations. So we highly encourage seed saving. And together with a group called Global Seed Savers, we've been teaching seed school in Kai Farms. So in this photo, you'll see seed packets. Those are seeds that we've been saving over many, many seasons in Kai Farms. We have heirloom seeds. We have open pollinated for non-farmers. That just means natural seeds. They are non-hybrid. They are non-GMO, and they're organic. They're chemical free. So it's a rarity in the Philippines that to find seeds that are not sprayed with fungicide. Most seeds in the Philippines are sprayed with fungicide. Also, currently, and this figure comes from Slow Food International and Terra Madre. Terra Madre is the global network of sustainable food communities of slow food. They share that 63% of seeds, of the world's supply of seeds, is controlled by 4 multinational companies. And these same 4 companies also control 70% of chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides and GMO. So there's a very big connection, and that's why this is called seed sovereignty. And this is our wealth. We just have to learn how to save and store properly. And I would like to recommend a resource called Global Seed Savers. They are our partners in Seed School. If you go on their Facebook, you will access 4 classes where they teach the technical aspects of seed saving, how to save the best seeds, and how to harvest those seeds and how to store those seeds properly, so you can do it in a chemical-free way that gives you the best quality seeds for free.
Would you be willing to do a 1 whole hour on save seeding and seed exchange? Because
yes,
I'm a seed saver. Long before I learned that many people do it, my help and my friends found me kind of strange that I would be so upset when they would throw the seeds, up to the small seeds of the papaya and the roselle or hibiscus flower seeds, mango seeds, the chico seeds, the seeds of sampalok and everything else. So I would be so happy to share my seed experience since I was very young, and people found me strange, but I'm glad it's a movement now, and there are people similar to me that I didn't realize also did the seed exchange. Ipat Luna and I exchanged seeds, and my friends found me, kind of different from all of them. But continue, Carla. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that, Senator Lauren. So as we speak, I am facing seeds that I have been saving here. I ate some avocados the other day. So I have avocado seeds. I also see my malunggay seeds. And I also see these seeds of a wild fruit called, it has many names, but one of the names is called a kurambot. And it kurambot, and it tastes, it's very small. I don't have like a live one here. I just have the seed, but it tastes like passion fruit, pineapple, and mango rolled in one. So I would like to encourage the Slow Food Youth Network and chefs to start growing this beautiful fruit that I never got to taste until this lockdown and this
I have
time
to get one seed and try to plant that. Is it kurambot?
Kurambot.
Okay.
So it's also like it sounds like rambutan a little bit, but
okay.
On the Kai Farms Instagram, which is Kai Farms PH, there's a post about this fruit, and many people from different parts of the Philippines commented on the name of this fruit in different parts of our country. So I can send you that seed, Lauren, so you can...
Okay, you teach me how to plant that seed, where to plant it, how to plant it. Very good.
It's actually wild, so it's very resilient, and it's just gonna grow anywhere. It's a vine, so it needs to climb. So find a place for it to climb. So I'll talk a little bit about food security. Seeds equals food security. As you've already, and previous speakers on your webinar today have already said, the answer to food security is not industrial farming, industrial agriculture. The answer to food security is families and households planting food in their backyards, in pots, in whatever space that they can manage. Because by doing that, there's less transport, there's less plastic waste. It's healthier because food, as you know, deteriorates in life force and in nutrition the longer the time that passes from the moment you harvest. So if you grow your own, it's at its peak nutrition, and we can be healthy that way by growing our own. Plus, it's what do you call it? It's nationwide. One of my biggest learnings that I want to share and bring into today's webinar of our time with my family here during this COVID enhanced community quarantine in Palawan is that I realized Filipinos have a much better chance of being happy, healthy, and strong in the province rather than in densely populated cities like Metro Manila and other urban centers where it's too populated, there's no fresh air, there's no land to grow food, people live very close together, and it's not good for human health to live in a place like that. It's not good for mental, emotional, or physical well-being. So I would like to encourage those who perhaps have roots in the province to consider going back to your roots and create learning opportunities and earning opportunities for Filipinos in the province so we can grow our own food in the province. Like what we've been doing here in this permaculture farm in Palawan is we've been growing locally, sourcing locally from small scale farms. Besides the ones growing here, the vegetables growing here, we've been sourcing from family farms nearby, and we've been sourcing fish from village fishermen also nearby who just fish in the area, and we've been eating local. So that's a nice segue to the third slide, which is that seeds equals biodiversity and gut health. And the reason I want to bring biodiversity into the equation is because, and I'd like to share another figure from Slow Food International, that 70% of our agricultural biodiversity has gone extinct. We have lost it in the last 70 years. And this is because in industrial agriculture, the companies choose seeds to plant based on what has the highest yield. And also, they choose the seed of the produce that travels well and that doesn't get bruised easily. But these two things have resulted in the loss of biodiversity of our food. So that's why it's important to save seeds. And lastly, connected.
For those who are joining us on Facebook now, you don't have to buy your seeds. I will give you as many seeds as you want. So for all of us, I cannot read everyone's questions. Those who are watching from Antique, those who are from Quezon City, those who are from Metro Manila, those who are even texting me and here on Facebook, from Valderrama, Antique, from, okay, we will give you seeds and we will also give DA kits, the DA kits that we gave. And in fact, as long as you don't sell it, okay, as long as you plant it. And I will give you as many seeds as you want. I have seeds for Blue Ternate, I have Roselle seeds, I have seeds for almost every fruit. And we will do an episode on seeds with Carla and Chef Jam and many others, and focus on permaculture. Carla, I'd like you to show some more for your slides on seeds. We have seen 3 slides on saving seeds, and we segue and go to Bea Crisostomo, who is also with us of Ritual. I actually have always followed Ritual and I like what they do. Carla, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Yeah, so I'd be happy to do your seed session with you and invite Global Seed Savers.
Very good. So simply put, Carla, what we eat, we just save the seed, we dry it, we don't throw it away. And that is part of ecological solid waste management, where we don't throw things, we make use of it. So whatever food waste we do, we use it for organic compost. Itabi po natin ang mga buto, itutuyo po natin, at yan ay papasibol natin para maging seedling, maging halaman, makain po natin. That is what we call resilience and sustainable living and resilient food systems. And another person who walks her talk is Bea Misa Crisostomo of Ritual. Are you with you? Are you with us, Bea Crisostomo? And I'd like to ask down to earth Paula Aberasturi to join us after this to comment on Kai Farms, Carla Delgado and Bea Crisostomo of Ritual. Hello. I've not met you in person, but it's like I know you because I follow Ritual.
Thanks for following us. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can see you. Yes. Are you in Metro Manila or is Ritual? I'd like to see. Please tell us, Bea, what is Ritual and why are you an ecological store, and how can we interest viewers, the millennials, everybody to do what we all have been talking about?
Ritual is basically we're focused on biocultural diversity. So when we're 10 years old, our shop is 10 years old, and back then we noticed that the stuff that was being sold doesn't really reflect the diversity of our country in terms of let's say sweeteners. There was only Muscovado and white sugar that only comes from the sugarcane plant, but actually historically every region had its own sort of sweetener. Like there's nipa, coconut, all those things that basically are more localized. So we started to do it, and then we said, if we're gonna do a store, we don't want to use plastic. At the time I was working at an NGO, and we were doing talks in barangays about solid waste also and organic farming. So we just put up a store and we said zero waste it's the how of our business, but it's not the what. We wanted to represent local products, heritage products, and start helping at least one farmer at a time. So we don't do like massive cooperatives. We try to do like one family farm at a time, and then when we increase our volume, then sometimes their neighbors, their cooperatives come in. So yeah, we do this, and we've done a pilot of it in a palengke, and it works. It works in a palengke setting because people want access to their most of the people in Manila are urban migrants from the province, and they want access to their regional products. Like some of them would come with a shot glass to buy sukang Ilocos, and drink it on the spot. So there's really, in Metro Manila, there's really parang naputol yung wisdom sa province kasi everyone moved to Manila. But when they move to Manila, they feel inferior. They feel like they're not modern enough. They feel like, their old provincial ways aren't going to be appreciated.
No,
but actually,
that's the right way
yeah.
to go. Now, tell us, what are the products that you have? Are you an online store? I know that you have a store in Metro Manila, but it may be closed now. So tell our viewers, those who are on Facebook Live now all over the country, how can they access you? At saka, ang binibenta nyo, kanya-kanyang dala ng lalagyan?
Yes.
Right? Oo.
So, at the moment, we're closed, but we do refills by schedule at our production house in Poblacion. We also operate out of a website, www.ritual.ph, where you can actually see. We also sell our products, most of our products there now. There's a special section for heritage foods like heirloom beans. We even have muscovado from Antique.
Ay, very good, Carrie. Dr. Crespo, ayan. Okay, I will tell you. I'll check the muscovado. I will link you what I can do. I can link to all our muscovado producers and farmers of Antique for the
not just muscovado
to be sold.
Yeah, we're also always looking for traditional products. Some we go to the different areas. Sometimes we're able to revive certain products, or there's sometimes the communities don't feel like we would be interested in certain things, but we are always looking for traditional products, underutilized crops.
Do you have pictures or slides of your store? Or
I don't have slides.
That's okay. Since you have an Instagram account, which I follow and I like sometimes, and just like
Thank you.
And if you have the website that you mentioned, then you can do that. Ipat Luna and Carla, Ipat, and Paula. Would you like to comment or just engage with what Bea's saying? You know, funny, para tayong isang barangay na we know we know what they're talking about.
But before that,
out there to think like us and to do like us, okay, Bea? So
before that, can I just say a few things about to take off where Carla? Hi, Howie. To take off from where I can recognize your voice. To take off from where Carla was saying. Actually, recently, I was listening to a scientist talk, and you know how pag nasa probinsya tayo, ang tamis ng gulay. Apparently, there's a correlation between soil diversity and the Brix level of vegetables. So, there's a positive correlation between matamis na gulay and level of photosynthesis and the diversity of the soil. So,
exacto. I will interrupt for a while. Alam mo, Bea?
Go ahead.
Kahapon lang, kinakain ko yung aking tanim na talong. Yung binibili na talong ng aking staff na I prevent them from buying because I grow my food. Yung binibili niya, walang lasa pero magandang itsura na parang matigas, parang plump.
Yeah.
Yung akin na tanim na akong gumagawa ng compost at kamay ko at tubig ulan, hindi kasing ganda, pero ang tamis. Parang nakatikim ka ng matamis na talong. Ang talong ko, ang tamis-tamis. Ito ako. Kaya, nag-steam lang ako. Yun ang kinain ko. Kasama ng adlay. Ang sarap. So, why am I having a climax over my
sweet talong?
Sweet talong? Because I'm so proud. And my staff know this who are with me now. I grow my own food. Sorry, supermarket and grocery, I do not go because I grow my own food on my on my pots and in my little farm. But I buy little things I need in the supermarket. But when it comes to vegetables, ang gulay ay kinakain ko. But I will go into the website of Ritual and see what I can learn from Ritual, and we can exchange. In fact, we will have a special on millennials who are gardeners. We will have with Chef. We will have a special on gastronomy and culinary heritage, and do the regional mapping of food. And we will do 1 hour on seeds. Mahalaga yan kasi dapat alam natin ang ating pwedeng itanim na huwag itapon, at yung mga nakakaligtaan na natin na halaman na buto ay dapat santuhin natin at itabi. Hindi ba, Paula? Oh, Paula! Okay.
Yes, hello.
Would you like, okay, Bea, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you also.
Yes, do I have questions on Facebook, but there's no time. Okay, there's a reaction here. Paula, it says that you would like to ask something. Okay, you may. We would like to, again, welcome all our viewers from all over the Philippines and abroad. I will mention your names in the next show, and thank everybody for joining us. Would you like to say something, Paula Abarasturi, a consultant?
No, just very, yes.
Yeah.
Just very quickly, I just wanted to say thank you to all the speakers, and all of them I met through Slow Food, and for me, they have been the examples of how we can slowly transition to this kind of life where it's a shorter value chain, we're growing food in the house, and also eating what is local. And Deputy Speaker, I wanted to say, I'm so amazed with your garden and how you're now growing your own food and also having your own seeds, because I remember maybe 4 years ago when you attended the urban gardening workshop, you were still just trying to learn, and then now I see all your produce and what you're doing. And that's amazing.
Paula
so
and Nicolo,
anybody can do it as
seminar
well.
in the Senate, di ba? Tinuruan mo yung mga staff ko dahil hindi naman lahat ay alam yung aking mga batas. And you actually operationalize what I wrote in my law and attended a lecture in Laguna near your home. And you were teaching me how to plant a forest garden, an edible garden in your home in Laguna. Sana you can show us and walk us through. Imagine, it's a small space, right? But you actually produce tons and tons of vegetables, right? Yes.
So yes, how far you've come from that workshop, and then now you're ready growing your own food and planting your own seeds.
Very true. I don't buy
so that just shows everybody else that you can do the same thing.
Yes, because before I would just write the law. I would give speeches. I would write the law and debate. But I said, I better do it in my backyard. And it's not easy because you have to change the mindset of your cook and your people with you.
And thank you, everyone, Slow Food people. Also, Attorney Ipat, I met her from Slow Food.
You have to teach them. Even Sonia Mendoza knows this. She had to come to my house to teach everybody to segregate garbage because they still don't follow. My law is 19 years. It's not easy to follow. But yes, Paula, so next time, we should not be indoors. Papakita mo yung mga tinatanim mo. Papakita rin ni Ritual ang kanyang mga binebenta. Papakita rin ni Carla ang kanyang mga buto at mga halaman. At papakita ni Sonia ang kanyang 4 o 5 na trash bin, okay? So that we don't sit. At papakita ni Chef Carlo ang kanyang mga masasarap na pagkain. Si Chef Jam. At papakita ni Carlo ang mga millennial na urban gardener. At papakita ni President Danny ang kanyang mga gulayan sa UP Garden. At papakita ni Dr. David ang mga tinatanim din sa proyekto ng DOST. So, I'm 40 minutes over time because this is just a 1 hour, but it's so interesting. So, thank you to all of you for being
Thank you.
People say, why is she always shouting? Because I'm always excited. This is a Stories for a Better Normal. It's a once a week, every Thursday at 10 in the morning on Zoom, but we're streamed on Facebook Live and we're uploaded on YouTube as well. So please, after this, share and share alike so that many people will segregate, they will plant, they will do MRF and organic compost, and they can cook heritage cuisine, and they can do regional food mapping, and they can buy from Ritual, and they can save seeds like Kai Farms, and do many of the things that we do in our own small way. So thank you for being with us. Let us segregate garbage at source and do ecological solid waste management. Let us buy in bulk and never do sachets. Let us save our seeds and plant what we eat and try to grow our own food, no matter how small a place we live in. With that, I thank you all, and post on Facebook the seed that you've saved. And those on the Climate Change Commission Facebook and on my Facebook, ask for the seeds and I will provide. Baski ilan, 10, 20, 30, 100 of you, I will give you packets of seeds for free. We will give 10 grow kits from the Department of Agriculture. You were supposed to be with us. Where are you? ATI? Director Rosella is in an event, but I think she has a staff with her to say goodbye and to commit that we're giving away grow kits from DA. Are you still with us? If you're
yes,
not,
ma'am. Good morning.
Oh, you're there. Very good. What do you call your kits? We gave the grow kits last week. We will give again, right? Because
we call it.
How many can you give, DA?
We call it the starter kits, ma'am. Mag-submit lang po sila ng request, ma'am. Included dun sa starter kits natin yung assorted seeds with 2 kilogram compost and soil, and then poly bag, seedling tray, and 25 pieces seedling.
Okay.
As to how many, ma'am, depende po sa request ng mga communities or
depende sa request. O sige, 1,000 ang aking request. 1,000. O sige, sige. Okay.
Yun, ma'am, kung kaya ng budget.
Akong bahala. O sige, sige.
Yes,
so, sa mga nanonood sa atin sa Facebook, starter kit, grow kit, tanim. Yung mga gusto magtanim, okay? Pero, importante, Cherie, Tala, Climate Change, Beck, you monitor, yung mga binigyan natin ng starter kit, patingin ang kanilang tinanim, ha? Hindi to pwedeng ibenta, hindi pwedeng itago, dapat. So, mamonitor natin, kumbaga contact tracing, yung mga binigyan natin ay magtanim, dapat may umuusbong. So, thank you to all of you, millennials, hindi puro midlifers ang dito, kailangan millennials ang kasama natin, ha? Carlo at Jam. Yung mga bagets na kasama natin dito, mag-recruit kayo ng millennial dahil hindi ako naniniwala na ito'y hindi uso. Ito ay uso. Ayan! Yan ang winners of Urban Gardening Starter Kits. We gave away books and we're giving away my DRR manual. What is that? Disaster Risk Reduction, or what we call it, our Disaster Preparedness booklets. I'm giving away also the DA kits. Ayan. Ayan ang mga nanalo ng ating Urban Gardening Starter Kits. But aside from that, IPAT and I will give you unlimited seeds. Ang dami-dami kong buto. Buto lang. At saka seedling pwede rin. We can also give you seedlings I can get from the DENR. I also have from my own little farm of my grandmother seedlings. I will also give away. Just like I gave bicycles in the urban mobility segment, we are giving away booklets, we're giving away gardening kits, we're giving away seeds, and I will give 10 seedlings of what I grow in cocoa pots. Never use single-use plastic. Para happy si Sonia Mendoza, Mother Earth. Bye! Until next Thursday, we will tell you our subject matter. Carla, we can do a special on permaculture, okay? So this is just the beginning of focused 1 hour or 1 hour and a half in the coming weeks. We'll be in touch with all of you. So Cherie and Tala and Beck, Climate Change Commission, so much work, but we must plan, plan, plan. Thank you, Department of Agriculture, for this collaboration as well. And join us on Monday, June 22, for the beginning of another webinar on our protected areas called PA Talk. So that's my partnership with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, with the Biodiversity and Management Bureau on Monday, Protected Areas Talk. But we'll see you in Stories for a Better Normal every Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Make it your ecological habit. Thank you. Have a good day.